Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Between the Sharks. Behind me, as you may recognize, is the abandoned shop on the abandoned property. Well, I'm occupying it a whole lot more, so it's less abandoned than it used to be. Got a couple opportunities I've got to take advantage of. First of all, the weather. The weather is absolutely incredible. Second, I have access to some slightly used material, and I only have access to it for about 10 days. So I've got to get a place to store it all. All of that will be a huge help on the house, which is a down the road project, but I think it's such a good opportunity that I really have to take advantage of it in every way I possibly can. And so that means this week's project is re-roofing this thing. All right, this thing just taunts me. First of all, we got some hot rod goodies tucked up here. I don't know, maybe that's the 67, 68 Camaro bumper and luggage rack. There were some Corvettes too, but the Corvettes had split bumpers. What we really need to be looking at is the timbers and the holes in the tin. I'm assuming you guys can see those bright sparkly lines. Like, I don't know if this tin was used before they put it up, or if all of those nails have just popped out of it, because that's also entirely possible. Everywhere you see light coming through, water comes through too, unfortunately. Over here, we got a bit of tree damage. You can tell by the tree still sticking out of it. Fortunately for us, the framing for the most part is in good shape, with a couple of weird, notable exceptions. So we've got what looks like termite damage right in this one spot, which is strange. So we'll have to deal with that. It's kind of sistered, but we'll need to fix it. Also, it looks like it's true dimensional lumber. It looks like the trusses are actually made out of 2" by 4" material. So if you guys aren't big on the old carpentry, a 2x4 is no longer 2x4. It's 3.5 by 1.5, and it's rough sawn. So who knows? At some time in the Wayback Machine, because you can't get this stuff around here now. Make a lap around the outside. This is where they keep the ivy. Apparently, everything in the world nests right here. This tree is growing into the building at this point, so that tells you how long this has been here and like this. Oh, and unfortunately for us, right now, there's no way that tree is coming down. Just don't have the cash for it at the moment. So we're gonna have to work in a circle just a little bit, but that's life sometimes. As you guys may have noticed, I got more pickup trucks than I have step ladders, so this Datsun's becoming a step ladder real fast. Do I trust this tailgate enough to stand on it? That's probably done. Let's just go over the top. Anyway. Spider webs in here are unreal. This is an untested pickup truck. I don't know if it's gonna fall apart or not. I'm just trying to see what's up here. I see glass tucked away in different places. There's glass over there. That's glass. Are you glass? You're glass? Okay. So this truck's actually going to come in handy right where it is. I am standing in the bed, and this is the worst. Oof. Oof. I mean, that's really bad. Ugh. Really looks like termite damage, but why would they just be there? That doesn't make any sense. They don't seem to be in there now though, so I guess that's good. Let's get some gloves. That's probably good step one. I am particularly interested in the structure, mostly because I'm counting on it to keep me from wily coyoteing right into the top of this truck. That's right, gang. You guessed it. I'm gonna leave everything right where it is and try to work around it. Just expecting more badness. I don't know. I just expect everything to be worse than what I'm seeing. I don't know why it's not. Ruh-roh. Maybe I shouldn't look too closely. Like a little kid walking behind the swing set, like, can't hurt me. Bought this thing off the old internet, brand new. They said it fell off a truck. Explains the damage of the box, I guess. Never used a battery operated nailer. Kind of excited to see the end of a tool in there because I never really looked. You know, taking in the literature on this thing. It seems pretty groovy. It seems like it'll shoot a single nail at a time, or you can do that thing that people do, just holding the trigger and make it, you know, bump and dangerous and, you know, just do karate on whatever you need. Doesn't really say a a lot about what kind of nails it wants. So we're gonna jam in the nails I have. So this box of nails has been sitting around for over a decade. You can see how faded it is. Sure is a good thing I kept it. Hoarder victories. Push safety down. Here we go. Dang! That's a 4x4, gang. That sunk that nail like almost a 1/4 inch deep. It does have an adjustment right there to change the depth, but I am impressed. Let's just bang out a couple more nails, see what happens. Let's put it in danger mode. Danger mode. So now if I pull the trigger, I should be able to fire nail after nail. Dang. Whoa, you're gonna come in handy, little buddy. I will say I'm actually pretty excited about this tool. They're not inexpensive. They're several $100s, but by the time you get a nail gun, a compressor, an air hose, that whole rig, you have to have power, you have to have all this stuff, and your air hose can snag on anything as you're kind of moving around. So if you kind of line of sight your way past this thing, you can see all that oxidization and all of the purlins, the this way doohickeys, are rotted out up this line. So I guess this seam is also leaking very badly. That will explain this rot right there. So many spiders. It's like arachnophobia. Oh, it'd be cooler if it wasn't covered in feces. This is definitely C10 sliding back glass, which is pretty cool actually. Dismount! That looks pretty darn close to me. That goes into the keeper pile. I do like an opening back window. I don't really know why. All it does is suck the leaves from the bed into the cab, but I think they're cool. And this one has some crazy purple tint on it, so it's even cooler. That'll go somewhere in the please don't break stash. Alright, so instead of using my face to remove the spider webs, I mean, this is a large collection. Many years in the making. We got ourselves a little situation. I've overthought the solution to this 3.5 times already, so we're gonna go with the simplest, quickest method, which may possibly be the most dangerous. You guys have seen magicians where they have a table full of dishes and they go whoosh and just snatch it right out. We're gonna do that, but we also gotta like put another tablecloth underneath. And by tablecloth, I mean 2x4. Put this away. Oh, there we go. There we go. Well, we just got the tiniest bit of rot going on here. This is squishy wood. Well, we're gonna hope those hangers can suspend everything because we're gonna just do some karate further. You guys gotta see this. How did we do? Pretty good. It'll hold 1 mini unit. Hooray for us. We've made it up to the rooftop patio, also known as the lean-to. And we've got ourselves a little situation, and that situation is this entire ecosystem going on here. Well, sports fans, it's pretty incredible. I feel pretty lucky. The roof is stable enough for me to stand on it, which I'm not terribly surprised about that. The tin could have been pretty weak. It's pretty thin stuff. It does not have a high profile like the stuff we're going to replace it with. So this is old school. In addition, I think it was used when it was put on. Whoever knows how long ago, because there are a lot of nail holes where there's no lumber. So it's not like the nails have just popped out over time. But I must have removed about 1.5 inches of dirt off this whole thing. And that weighs a lot. Clearly rusting through, so some places are worse than others, but they're somewhat easy to spot. But look at this tree. That must have, like, there's the edge of the roof. It's grown in, I don't know, like 4 or 5 inches. Over on this side, we've got trees actually growing out of the roof. Like that privet is rooted into the soil on the roof. The fact that the structure is mostly okay is a huge win. I say that looking from up here down at that roof. Like that could have been what we were dealing with right here. It's a weird thing to look at something this lousy and be like pretty thrilled about it. I feel lucky. Ruh-roh. Oh boy. Well, that's a bummer. Well, I'm gonna cogitate on it. It's getting late enough. I'm out here by myself. I think we need to call it quits and climb down before it gets dark. Well, it dropped 20 degrees overnight, so sun's not quite out yet, so it's a little nippy. But don't worry, we're still rocking a hot dog hat. This is from the Between the Sharps winter collection. I've cogitated 287 ways to do this, and like Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until they get roofed in the face. So I'm gonna just start tearing roof off. Quick observation says the roof was put on this way to that way, which means the best way to take it off is that way to this way because of the way the seams overlap. I'm gonna ignore what I just observed. Let's just dive in. So it looks like there are some big roofing nails, but you can see how many holes there are just all over this tin. These are coming right out. They are sinker nails, but you can see how kind of rusted they are. There's not a lot of rings on it anymore. That's kind of the sketchiest piece right now because it's overhanging by about 9 inches or so. Gotta figure out our method here. Come on. Hopefully this will go quickly. Probably just jinxed that real bad. Let's try this for experiment's sake. That's pretty bad. So we got some rotten purlins. Fortunately, the trusses are true 2x4 and spaced every 2 feet and look like they're in pretty good shape. So I'm not really worried about falling through the roof presently. Slide down in that classic curling position, you know? Canadian shuffleboard. It's going to be some work, but I think we can do it. The wood definitely gets better away from where this polyacrylic kind of green stuff was. Anyone that's ever had a skylight knows it's probably going to leak, which I think we had the same situation going over there. It was leaking, and then they put tin over it. I'm going to dive in, put on some rock and roll music, put you in the high-speed machine, and see if we can strip this. right, so maybe not totally abandoned for the last 17 years. Some squirrels have definitely called this place home. Assessments. Look how much brighter it is in here. So let's grab some levers. I'll grab a 2x4 lever and see if we can find Leroy. All right, I found old Leroy, but wondering. No, maybe that's not the best idea. Let's get that up there for later. Time to switch back to the summer hot dog hat. Gotta see what old Leroy has to say about the situation here. All right, it's like Bob Newhart said, give me a big enough lever and, well, I'll move the world. You may be a bit of an odd bird if you see this and be thrilled about it because, you know, it could be way, way, way worse. The rot's kind of quarantined right to where the skylights were. And if you are the type of person that says skylights can be done right where they don't leak, you probably sell skylights. All in all, I think we've been at it like 2 hours. And unfortunately, there's no easy way. The nails that are in there are in there. So the best method I've got is to work from the top down, just pulling all the nails in the row. And it takes what it takes. It's no fun, but we're doing it anyway. Team, we are on our way back from the home improvement store. We got a full-size adult version game of pickup sticks in the back. We're in the old C10. Well, we're always in the C10. We're in the 65 C10 today, and kind of forgot when I rewired it, I got the gas gauge wrong, so it always reads full, which unfortunately for us doesn't make it true. In order to move heavy stuff, Juan must first move heavy stuff. Yoda said that. I got some free 2x12x16s, which are many dollars a piece and also many pounds a piece. So I want to see if I can shove them here for storage so we can use our truck to do the lifty on the other heavy stuff like the roofing material. Redneck CrossFit on 3. Gee golly whiz, those things are heavy. I don't know if you guys watch like YouTube home improvement or HGTV type stuff or any of the DIY programming that's out there. I always find it remarkable. Like, they don't have any mini projects in the middle of their big projects. They're just, everything's just ready to go. It's like the cooking networks with all the ingredients pre-chopped and like, yeah, you just pour this bowl into this bowl and stir. But everything I do has like a million mini projects. Let's move 10 65-pound boards as like a warm-up exercise. So fortunately, I pre-cut this stack to the correct dimension when we finish the lean-to. I would say it's safe to say today's goal here is to get this side roofed. And I think it's manageable. I don't know what time it is. Better not look. Do a 20-inch overhang that'll match this, then all our ribs will line up. If we ever want to trim it, which we won't, we can, but we won't. Little trick, I got one marked. These are all the same size. Can't see the mark because I'm holding yous, guys. Warm up old beefy arms here. A lot of the stuff I've built has required screws because it needs to be disassembled at some point in the future. But boy howdy, I'm gonna fall in love with this thing real fast like. All right, team, that took a lot of monkeying around. Best I can do is square it off the rafter, and I believe I've done so. About as good as I'm gonna do it. Man alive, we got a long way to go. Just had to re-up on the lumber and all that, so I thought I'd come take a look. We got so much to do. If I was smart enough to take a cue from old Diesel Creek, a telehandler would make this job significantly more faster. Instead, we're gonna redneck it with our pickup truck, as this is between the sharks. Well, I definitely thought this thing would be going a little faster. I definitely thought that about a lot of things that I've worked on before. But we keep running into obstacles. I mean, stuff we already knew was there, but this rot needs to go. And then extending that overhang. The fellow was a little timid being up here by himself, trying to do a cantilever without doing a double somersault half twist down onto the garage floor. We gotta start replacing all this rotten lumber. Gang, I'm getting so used to being on this roof. I need to put some lawn chairs and a grill up here. Like, it's not a bad view. I don't even want to look at this other side. We're most of the day in. I got what, 4 sheets up? What does that mean? 7 sheets to go? So everything in this process is a bit of a time killer. And I'm trying to figure out how to make it more efficient if I can. And one of the ways to make it more efficient is to make getting on and off of here more easier. Alright. Dismount. What do you say we move some heavy sharp roofing? Yeah, buddy. Figure it out. Getting good at the Igor walk, ducking under these pieces of angle iron on the ladder rack. Wondering if you don't. Hurts. Yes, master. Let's go grab some 4x4s and give it hell. Boy, howdy am I pooped. And I lost my hammer. You guys see it anywhere? Considering, stripped this off this morning and we're re-roofed up to where we stopped pulling roofing off, it's not a bad day. Day's not over yet. I got an hour or so. I was trying to wrestle these things using the 2x4 as a lever because I thought that was real smart. I think it is real smart, but it's not doing the trick. These nails are digging in I think I've got 3 sheets left. I'm gonna have to notch or offset this last sheet because I'm not dealing with that tree right now. Either my YouTube's has got to get more popular or I got to hit the lottery, because my tree man is very good but not inexpensive. I don't think I have much choice but to climb up there and start taking this off nail by nail, which is why it's a bummer that I've misplaced the hammer, because it really was sort of an integral part of removing nails. Hammer! Hello! Guess we'll take old Leroy, see how far we can get. Oh, hey guys, how are you? We're so close to like almost having a roof on this thing. She's back to being watertight for the most part if you look down yonder ways. You might think you were in the jungles of Thailand, but no. We have a lot of climbing viney things, and these ones are different from the ones over there pulling those trees down. Come the apocalypse, greater metro Atlanta would probably disappear from satellite view in like 45 minutes to an hour. Everything will just be covered in vines, eventually collapse. No one will ever know it was here. So fun fact, I almost took this plywood down, but by the size of that prehistoric poop, we had something at least the size of a raccoon or a muskrat or a small moose living up here in the attic. Whatever it was fond of pecans. That all would have come down on my face from inside the pickup truck. We're just gonna have to do some temporary overlapitude. All right, it's at least secured by 2 screws. I'm pretty bushed. I've been out here the majority of the day outside a trip to Home Depot and a quick party with the dog, which can't wait to get back to the dog. Dog's number 1. But not bad for a day. I mean, my knees are killing me from sliding up and down that roof a lot. Almost like road rash, so I'll be curious to see how bad that is. Sun is just barely coming up. We're after it again. Today's goal is, well, it's very ambitious. We got to strip this whole side that's growing trees out of it and reskin it. Is it doable? Maybe. We're gonna give it hell. I also brought knee pads today, which is great, but I really wish I had started that like a week ago. All right, that worked. There's a certain amount of conservation of energy where I'm trying not to climb on and off this roof. Can't see it very well, but inside, that's where we looked at. We could see that branch that I guess poked the big hole, and then we have privet growing out of the roof. As fun as that is, there's a warning for you. Those are some pretty big logs. Jeez, there's a whole root system. Wow. Whoa. All right, there's our great big hole. Came from somewhere way up there sometime long ago. All right, we've ventured directly into Sketchyville. I want it to work this way, but obviously where we have the hole in the roof is the weakest link in the purlins and rafters on this side. At least I think it is. For pulling nails up, going from the top layer over makes the most sense, but I don't think it's the safest thing to do. I think it's safer to struggle from the other side, even though it's harder to get the nails out. If we work this way, we can keep adding structure, same as we did on this side, because this stuff is no bueno. Well, I really need to get this done. It's also extremely important to me that I don't injure myself while doing it, because it doesn't matter if this thing's finished if I'm in the hospital or laid up. I think we just gotta struggle a little more taking nails out and take our time, which isn't what I wanted to do, but when you feel stuff shifting below you, you think, maybe I should do something different. I mean, the one thing that's going to prove significantly more difficult is I am working from the top down, where yesterday I could climb on the low sheet to pull the top sheet up, then pull the bottom sheet up from a safe working platform. That's not something I have, and I can't. I don't know if you guys can see past the sun. I just can't get my truck back in there, which would be the ideal way to do it. We'll get creative. We'll solve it. Not like we do anything in the orthodox manner around here anyway. This is tricky, ladies and gentlemen. It's so similar to yesterday, but so different. Having the escape plan of sliding down and being on top of the lean-to is not something to underestimate, because here, there's nowhere to go but off the edge. It's not what I plan on doing. So working upside down is proving to be very, very difficult. The other thing about this tin is, like, if it's nailed and stretched out, it's pretty strong, even though it's pretty rusty. However, when you start taking the nails out, it can kind of crumple like tinfoil between the purlins, which is sort of what I feel happening. So we got to reevaluate. I'm gonna go bottom side, and we're gonna see if we can work maybe from underneath, try that out. I guess optimistically, once I get a sheet or two in, then we can continue to work, you know, from the top across. But right now, getting a starting point is feeling very dangerous. Ugh, I don't feel good about any of it. I don't have a plan. And if I don't feel good about it, that's saying something, gang. Like, I may not be the most daredevilist or dumbest dude out there, but I do some sketchy stuff. Unfortunately, this is what we're looking at the side of the building. So there is no getting anything in here like a, you know, truck. Maybe I can conjure up a real extension ladder. Take those first pieces off from the front. We're already a couple hours in today and have hardly accomplished a thing. However, we are down to the last row of nails on these first 2 rows here. So it turns out sometimes what you got to do is you try something and decide, nah, man, I don't feel good about it. It's not very safe. And then you try like 2 or 3 other methods that progressively make you feel less safe. So when you go back to your first option, suddenly it feels like being under a warm, cozy blanket, even though it's sketchy as hell. Everything's just been sketchy as hell this morning. That's no way to do an extension ladder, but that's the way we did it, because that's just our life right now, and we're gonna continue doing dumb things. At least if I fall, I won't fall far, and I'll have this rusty sharp metal to break my fall. I need to go ahead and do the same overhang that I did on the other side. So I'm getting a measurement. Okay, don't fall over. So if I cut my pieces to 45 inches, regular old 3'9", then I can put in all my 2x4 pieces. It'll nail to 2 rafters, and that should be enough for the overhang. And then we can get our first roofing piece on in this area and work this way, which should be safer and ergo easier. 1 hour and 50 minutes into today. It's warming up fast. And my knees, boys and girls, and whoever else watches the program here, I've been crawling around so much it feels like I have basically road rash. And so these knee pads are a little bit too little too late. However, when they slide off to the side, boy howdy, I know about it. Well, sports fans, what happens now is gonna set the tone for the rest of our day. If that goes all right, we got a fighting chance of getting something done. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Something it's bobsled time. All right, this may be a lot of climbing up and down, but feels relatively safe outside of the climbing part, you know? Well, 2.5 hours to get the first piece in, so if we can keep this pace up, we will be done in time to see the sunrise tomorrow if we work straight through. So we had a bit of a rocky start, but we are kind of cooking now. However, we're getting into the rotten areas that were under that green skylight. Got 3 panels up, got about a little over half the roof stripped. Man, that truck is cool. Like looking at it in the garage with the light coming through the rafters, we are sneaking up on it. I need 4 more sheets and they need to get cut. I bought some Sawzall blades and I was given some advice by one of you fine folks that watch. I took the time to comment and said, flip the sheets over. The circular saw may work better. You also said that you used a metal cutting blade, which I thought about buying one, and then it was 40 American dollars, and I thought, no. Nope. Still hates it. Team, we are racing the sun. It's over yonder, which means it's going down. So we're super close, at least to having a roof on everything. Got 2 sheets left to go. 1 is cut, 1 is not. Got to cut 1 more sheet. And of course, I brought 2 discs over. I can't find them. I don't know where I put them. But the grinder is just making very short work of this 26 gauge. Maybe that's the issue with the circular saws, is that it's not, maybe most people are cutting 29 gauge, which is thinner than 26 gauge if you're not familiar with metal gauges. All right, according to the old Farmer's Almanac, sunsets in 52 minutes. So let's get after it. The last 2 roofing pieces are cut. I had way more luck with that Sawzall blade than I did with that saw. Yes, masters! Must summit, not lean to once more. All right, so our weakest link is right here, but I am gonna go ahead and sister a 2x4 in there, get it nailed, and then I got another spot right where that crunched up hole in the middle is. Well, there was another hole from, you know, something what came down from way up yonder. Can I reach the nail gun? Can I make it fit? All right. Got 1 in. Let's go get some more nails. I don't know, gang. We got this one in. Got to get that off. That sheet's still sitting on top over there, so we can scoot it over, but we are cutting it so close, and I'm trying not to start moving faster because that's about the dumbest thing I could possibly do besides trying to finish this instead of waiting for tomorrow. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Safety slide. Make it happen, team. Finish strong. And don't fall off the roof on this last one. Guys, I am absolutely whooped today. It's a lot of hard work. So it's one of those things, man. I'm working my butt off trying to improve this property by myself, and as exhausting as it is, feels pretty good. And then and when I say feels pretty good, I don't mean like my body feels like it's been Wile E. Coyote dropped off a plateau down into a ravine. Not gonna lie, a lot of it's about the economics of it all. And I don't know what this would have cost if I had to pay someone else to do it. But buying the tin used and just getting after it, I think I saved many thousands, which I don't have to spend on this. So I guess I did it right. I don't know, but I'm beat. I'm completely beat. I think the tools can have another camp out on the roof because we'll be back up here tomorrow. Maybe I'll have a camp out up here. I don't know if I can get down. All right, gang, it's feeling kind of like the home stretch. We got to put a ridge cap on. So I do have my all powers battery pack set up out here. Right now it's charging the phone, the camera batteries, and the 40-volt battery that we're going to use eventually for the blower to clean everything off. Because right now the power out to the garage side of the world is an extension cord that's been cobbled together. It's over 100 feet long, and it's the wrong gauge for 20 amp service. While I've been charging all my batteries and stuff off that, I need it for these power tools. Like I've been splitting it off to run the circular saw, and I'm going to need to split it off to run the shears to make our ridge cap right now. So this all powers thing, it's a huge help for dividing power. So you can buy ridge cap for metal roofs depending on which orientation you do the metal, but for me, we have the stuff here. We have a bunch of offcut, and we have some not so great sheets. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting it up and making my own. I'm gonna use one of these as the ridge, as a high point, and we're gonna run down this way. I'm gonna cut off along this line and along this line so the water can flow straight out and doesn't have to go over a ridge to get off the ridge cap. Is it the prettiest ridge line you've ever seen? No, dog. Are we here to look at it? No, we're here to keep water out, and it's gonna do that. Guys, this feels absolutely monumental to me. It was really, really, really hard work. Slow going, relatively speaking, doing it by myself, but I now have a roof, not only on the shop, But the lean-to that was falling down has been replaced and doubled in size. Like, it looks way better, but I don't even care about that. We now have a legit sort of base camp to fix everything else on this property. So if you're into this kind of stuff, there's a whole video on building the lean-to, on the truck, getting that thing ready to be a helper on that truck. There's videos on everything basically that we used on this channel. So check out some of the older stuff if you're new around here, and also consider subscribing because we got a lot more to go. If you're into this rebuilding, falling down buildings, hey, I got another one. Oh yeah, and the house that's on the property. Let's go check it out from the bottom side. There's not a whole lot to see, which is great because we can't see the sun, which means we don't have a bunch of holes in our roof. So I really enjoy making these videos, and I'm working real hard on them for you guys out there. So if you like this kind of stuff, please show your support and hit the little subscribe button. It's totally free. Don't even have to hit the notifications. Still does the same thing for me on the YouTube land. Anyhow, let's talk some numbers. At least one of the two people that watches this show might actually want to take on something like this. I think I'm right around 18 to 20 hours all in on re-roofing this garage. And all in, I am under $1,000, and that is mostly in steel. Now, I did spend the opportunity cost by searching for a deal on steel, kind of just watching what came up, and I bought all of this stuff at roughly $30 a sheet delivered. So the way I calculate my numbers is basically 30 bucks a sheet. Now at full sheets, full 20 footers, I used 22, 25 sheets, something like that. So that comes to around 700 bucks or so, but the offcut of those sheets were the extension on the lean-to. So I'm in under $1,000. I bought about 150 bucks worth of 2x4s, still have some on hand, and then hardware, it's just hardware. I bought a bunch for the lean-to project and enough for this. It's not cheap, so you got to factor that in, but let's just say 80 bucks for hardware. Does any of that math work out? Probably not. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate the support. It's a really, really, really big deal. I mean that genuinely. I am absolutely elated about this. This was inevitable. It was on the list from the moment I bought the property. It was something that had to get done, and now that it's done, I just, my imagination, I'm inspired to continue to work on it, and I'm also thrilled about how much more we can accomplish with a rain-proof base of operations. Good luck on your projects out there, and we will see you next time on Between the Sharks. Yeah, buddy.